The Douro, Spanish Duero, Latin Durius, is one of the major rivers of the Iberian Peninsula, flowing from its source near Duruelo de Sierra in Soria Province across northern central Spain and Portugal to its outlet at Porto. History. The name, Latinized Durius, may have come from the Celtic tribes that inhabited the area before Roman times. The Celtic root is *Douro. In modern Welsh, Dur is water, as well as Dour in modern Breton with cognate Dober in Irish. In Roman times, the river was personified as a god, Durius. The Douro Vinheteiro, an area of the Douro Valley in Portugal long devoted to vineyards, has been designated by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Traditionally, the wine was taken down river in flat-bottom boats called drabelos, to be stored in barrels in cellars in Vila Nova de Gaia, just across the river from Porto. In the 1950s and 1960s, dams were built along the river, which ended this river traffic from the upper regions in Spain and along the border. Now port wine is transported in tanker trucks. In 1998, Portugal and Spain signed the Albufeira Convention, an agreement on the sharing of transboundary rivers to include the Douro, Tagus and Guadiana. The convention superseded an original agreement on the Douro, signed in 1927, that was expanded in 1964 and 1968 to include tributaries. Geography. It is the third longest river in the Iberian Peninsula after the Tagus and Ebro. Its total length is 897 kilometers, of which only sections of the Portuguese extension below the fall line are navigable by light rivercraft. In its Spanish section, the Douro crosses the Great Castilian Meseta and meanders through 5 provinces of the autonomous community of Castile and Leon: Soria, Burgos, Valladolid, Zamora, and Salamanca, passing through the towns of Soria, Almazan, Aranda de Duero, Tordesillas, and Zamora. In this region, there are few tributaries of the Douro, the most important of the Pisuerga, passing through Valladolid, and the Isla, which passes through Zamora. This region is generally semi-arid plains, with wheat and in some places, especially near Aranda de Duero, with vineyards. In the Ribera del Duero wine region, sheep rearing is also still important. For 112 kilometers, the river forms part of the national borderline between Spain and Portugal, in a region of narrow canyons. It formed a historical barrier to invasions, creating a cultural, linguistic divide. In these isolated areas, in which the Alde da Vila Dam impounds the river, there are protected areas: the International Douro Natural Park and the Aribes del Duero Natural Park. The Douro fully enters Portuguese territory just after the confluence with the Agueda River. Once the Douro enters Portugal, major population centers are less frequent along the river, except for Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia at the river mouth. The only population centers of any note are Foz de Tua, Pinhao and Paso de Aracua. Tributaries here are small, merging into the Douro along the canyons. The most important are Coa, Tua, Saba, Corgard, Tavora, Paiva, Tamega, and Susa. None of these small, fast-flowing rivers is navigable. Human geography. Major Spanish riverside towns include Soria, Almazan, Aranda de Duero, Tordesillas, Zamora, and major Portuguese towns include Miranda de Douro, Foz Coat, Paso de Aracua, Lamegard, Vila Nova de Gaia, and Porto. The most populous cities along the Douro River are Valladolid and Zamora in Spain, and Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia in Portugal. The latter two are located at the mouth of the Douro at the Atlantic Ocean. In Portugal, the Douro flows through the districts of Bragança, Guarda, Viseu, Vila Real, Aveiro and Porto. Porto is the main hub city in northern Portugal. Its historic centre has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its significant architecture and history. Economy. These reaches of the Douro have a microclimate climate allowing for cultivation of olives, almonds, and especially grapes, which are important for making the famous port wine. The region around Pinhao and São João da Pesqueira is considered to be the center of port wine, with its quintas that extend along the almost vertical slopes of the steep river valleys. In the 21st century, many of these quintas are owned by multinational wine companies. Recently, a prosperous tourist industry has developed based on river excursions from Porto to points along the upper Douro Valley. The Douro railway line was completed in 1887. It connects Porto, Rio Tinto, Hermes and Valonguard, Paredes, Penafiel, Livraçao, Marco de Canaveses, Tua and Pocinho. Pocinho is near the city of Foscoa, which is close to Coa Valley Paleolithic art site. This is considered important to the archaeological prehistoric patrimony, and it has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 15 dams have been built on the Douro to regulate the water flow, generate hydroelectric power, and allow navigation through locks. Beginning at the headwaters, the first 5 dams are in Spain: Cuerdo del Pozo, Los Rabanos, San Jose, Villalcampo and Castro dams. The next 5 downstream are along the Portuguese-Spanish border. The first 3 are owned and operated by Portugal, while the next 2 belong to Spain. The Douro's last 5 dams are in Portugal and allow for navigation. Pocinho, Valera, Carapatello and Crestuma Lever dams. Vessels with a maximum length of 83 meters and width of 11.4 meters can pass through the 5 locks. The highest lock, at Carapatello Dam, has a maximum lift of 35 meters. The waters of Pocinho Lake reach 125 meters above sea level. Gallery.